Hey everyone, as always, Dylan from GoldPaydirtReviews.com. And as you can see, Goldpalooza continues. I took a little break, shoot some other videos, but I'm back with Paydirt, which is what everyone's really here for. And again, it's from Lynch Mining. This is the reserve Paydirt. Now, this stuff is supposed to contain at least a minimum of 1 gram of gold. For the jar, it's usually $70. Right now, it is on sale. And the summer sale does end on 9/22/2017. So if you're watching this video after that, the sale's over. The jar, as I said, is typically $70. The bag is $65. So if you want the jar, if you like the jar, you got to pay a little bit of a premium, but it also guarantees that what they say that it won't break. Shipping for this was $7.25. So after discount, I paid $59.50 for this jar. Plus shipping, my grand total was $66.75 for this. So in comparison to last year's Goldpalooza, I paid $60 for a bag. There has obviously been an increase in price, and it was a free shipping at that time. So last year I paid $60 to do a bag or to review this reserve Paydirt, and this year I'm paying $66.75. So we'll see if that changes the ROI and stuff for last year. I'm not going to spend too much time going into this, but I will say, as I've been saying in all my videos, Lynch Mining has been updating their website and really getting into adding a better description, because I've been begging them to, because I think every seller should have a really good description so you know what you're buying, you know. And I said, they've been working on this. So this is supposed to contain about 60% blondes and about 40% black sands. So, which would make you think this is more geared towards a more experienced panner. Because if you've got 40% black sands, that's a lot of material, of really heavies to go through to get the gold. Now, it will depend on what the gold sizes are. You know, if all the gold is larger, then it won't really matter. But, again, and I also like on this one, I just noticed that they do have a really detailed description on how they recover this, which is really nice to read, on where it's from and how they use a vacuum to get it, which is really interesting. So, I'm going to open this bad boy up, dump it out, and show you what we get. So, I mean, again, like I've said, I'm a huge fan of these jars. I was really kind of iffy on them until I actually got them, but I like them. I like the way they ship them, and they're pretty good quality. Thought those were gold, but that's just like grass material. So, there we go. One thing I'm going to do, just because somebody asked me on how I classify my material, so I'm going to do that here, and then I'll cut to the classifications and such like that. So, I have my classifiers here. They're the SE classifiers. Now, they make a lot of different classifiers from 10 all the way to 100. I only use 3, 10, 20, and 30. And the reason for that is because anything over 10 is pretty easy to spot. I mean, you really don't even need to pan stuff with the over 10. You could probably pick through it and get all your gold. The majority of Paydirt, I find, tends to be in the under 10 and over 30. That's easy to get. The under 30 is where it gets to be difficult. So, you know, these are just the main ones I focus on. Anything under 30 is really hard for a beginner, and everything over 30 is pretty easy. So, it's generally why I use those. So I'm just going to classify this down real quick. So not really too much in the over 10, but there is some gold, which is great. Always make sure you run your hands over your classifier, because gold, since it is light, if you happen to be a lot of weight on it, it can tend to stick. Never really had it be a big problem. But I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but as you can see, you really don't need to pan out the over 10 unless you've got pounds and pounds of it. But as you can see, 2 little pieces of gold from the over 10. So that's a nice start. And I don't know if you can see, but also one of the things that tends to happen when you classify is gold tends to go to the top while you're classifying it, because it was on the bottom. So nice little 2 pieces. Those will obviously be in the next mesh. So there we go. That's my over 10. And then let's do the under 10 over 20, which would be this one. Now you don't want to go crazy with them or you will get dust everywhere, especially if some of this pay dirt is really dirty. Winch mining tends to be really clean dirt, which is good. It makes it a lot easier to pan. Alright, so that'll be your under 10 over 20. And as you can see, this is going to be, look like it's going to be a monster bag of under 30. Still seeing lots of gold, which is always good. You know, when you can see the gold, it makes it so you know you're going to find gold. So everything that goes to the screen will be in the under 30. Still seeing gold. Always good thing. So that's about it. So that's it. Screen down. I'll be right back and talk about it. I'm going to go get all my equipment ready. So I'll be right back and we'll talk about the classification results. So everything's all classified down, as you saw me do. It was just somebody had asked me the question, which I typically don't do the classification just because it's always going to be the exact same. There's never going to be any difference between how I use a classifier. So as you can see, really nothing in the plus 10. I mean, I think a lot is probably might be able to go through the screen if it went in at a different angle, except for the gold. Two of these pieces of gold are really nice sized, and they wouldn't have gone through the screen. This other little piece could probably fit through and be in the other 10. So, two nice pickers, clinkers, whatever you want to call them. You know, you can hear them, and that's what's important. You can hear them popping in. Under 10 over 20 and the under 20 over 30, pretty much identical amounts. Like I said, when I was classifying it down, I could tell that this was going to be a monster of under 30, which it is. So, and also, I mean, you can see it's almost all black sands. I mean, this is a huge amount of black sands, you know. So like they said, I actually think this bag might be a little higher than the 60-40, but, you know, it's not going to be exact. You know, when they say it's 60% blondes, 40% black sands, they're not going to be exact. I mean, you couldn't take this out. They're not going to go through it grain by grain. I think this bag's closer probably to the 75-25. But that, you know, no two bags are ever going to be the same, so I'm fine with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. I'm going to go not pan this out, but I'm going to just pick it out, come back real quick, show you the gold I got out of it, and you'll see from there. Well, that didn't take long, and I didn't even bother panning it. I just picked them out, because all three of them are pickers, so I did use tweezers just because that's me. But nice three little pieces. I did weigh them out, and they came to total of a little bit over 0.2 grams, but I'm using my outside scale, which isn't a very good scale. I use a really good scale when I'm weighing them up for my final weigh-ins, and I do have a link to that below if you want to see one. They're really good scales. You know, this is the one I use out in my shed. It's not very good. The top just fell off of it, but when I was pulling it out. But I do use a really good scale, and I always zero it out every time. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get into the under 10 over 20, which I will have to pan out. So far, happy. Found nice three little pickers, as I said, in the plus 10. No gemstones. That was for the Gizmo Supremo. This one does not include gems, so you just get gold. So, which I'm happy for. I found nice 3 ones, and I know there's gold in this because I saw it when I was classifying. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to pan. Well, as you can see, a nice bit of gold in the under 10, over 20. And in fact, as you can see, I separated a couple of them. These 7 up here are really big. I mean, this is typical, the ones below that, of what you would find from minus 10, plus 20. But these are really big. These really should have been in the plus 10. I mean, it's just, you can see they're all really long and slender, so I guess they just went in at the right angle. But I'd be surprised if 3 out of 4 times these ended up in the plus 10. And it just so happened this is at one time. So, really impressed. About probably 35, 45 colors somewhere in there. So, I'm excited. I'm still happy. I'm still, wasn't very much black sand in that. That was predominantly all blondes. So, it made it really easy to pan, which is great. Because I know I'm about to, in a few minutes, hit the under 30, which is all. As you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is some black sands in this. A good bit. It seems this is where it starts taking off. Again, I don't really use a magnet, but I just do it so you can see. For those of you who do, I like to spend as much time panning as possible. It takes me away from everything else. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go pan this out and see how much gold I find in it. Wow, was that challenging. Really surprised me. And I don't know if you can see, but as you can see, this gold really wants to float. I mean, it's all really flat gold. And you can see there's this gold floating all over in my pan. And that's with using something to make it not float, supposedly. But just having a rough time today. That was a really difficult bag, or classification. Typically, under 20, over 30, isn't as hard as this one was. There was just so much in the way of black sands and heavies. It was really hard to get the gold to sink all the way down. I was having to stop, repan, stop, over and over and over, which was fun. I liked it. It was really enjoying it. It took me a long time to do, and as you can see, probably in the 60, 80 range. I mean, a lot of gold. So it was well worth it. It's always worth it if you do something for a long time and you get a lot out of it. And I got a lot of gold out of that. So I'm really excited. I'm just dying. Well, actually, I'm really not. Getting ready to jump into this under 30 material. So I know this is going to take me a monster amount of time, and hopefully there's a lot of gold in here to make it worth it, because this is going to take a long time. So I'm going to get right to it and go start doing some serious panning. I even have my glasses out. See? Got my glasses out and ready. So I'll be right back. And several hours later, I'm back. That took a ridiculously long time, but it was fun in its own way. If you don't mind spending hours hunched over Paydirt like I do, then it was fun. Again, probably in about the 80 piece range. Maybe a little more, maybe a little bit less. Too small for me to count. It was fun. I mean, it took me forever. I mean, since it was predominantly black sands, it was probably 80 to 90% of that was black sands. Probably about 80% of it was black sands, another 20% blondes. So it was really hard to get the gold to sink to the bottom. This gold, again, is really flat, so it tends to float a lot. So I was having to use agents to stop that a whole bunch. So, as you can see, you got a nice little batch of gold out of it. So, let me get the last of it. So I was pretty excited. It was a pretty good day. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go weigh all this up, and we'll get to the final review and see how much it all adds up to. So, real quick, I'll show you some more of that under 30. A lot of it, a lot of challenging stuff. So, it was fun. All right, I'm going to be right back with my final thoughts, my review, and the Roy. All right, finished weighing it all up, cleaning it up. Let me get it for you. And there we go. Nice little thing of gold. So, final thoughts on it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great bag of pay dirt. I had no issues with it. It was fun. The only problem I had with the whole thing was the shipping policy of Lynch Mining. Other than that, though, it was a great bag of pay dirt. Now, it was a little difficult, so I definitely would not recommend this if you're a beginner. So, Harvey, this is not the bag for you, my little man. You're better off with the Gizmo Supremo than this. Because on the under 30, this stuff was really difficult. There was just a ton of black sands in this pay dirt, which isn't a bad thing. It's just very difficult. So, overall, it was a great bag of pay dirt. So, but I'm just going to get right into my review. So, let's go. So, again, this was from lynchmining.com. It's a reserve pay dirt. They guarantee a minimum of 1 gram of gold. It's $70 for the jar. It's on sale until the 22nd of 2017. So I paid $59.50. Shipping was $7.25 via first United States Postal Service Priority Mail. So grand total I paid for this was $66.75. Now how much gold is this? That's always the big question. Well, I ended up recovering 1.369 grams, which means I recovered at today's gold spot, which is $42.44 per gram. That means I recovered $58.10 worth of gold, which is awesome. That means my ROI was 87.04%, and my AROI was 71.37%. So they were really good. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. It was a good bag of pay dirt. Spent all day doing it. You can't beat that. It's nice and relaxing. And I recovered roughly 87% of my money back. So now let's get on to the review stats. So for the ROI, I'm giving it an 8.7 because it's 87%. The AROI, 7.1. The fun factor on this was definitely a 10. Had a great time. It took a long time away out of my day and was nice and calming. So that gives the value of this an 8.6. Overall experience, I'm going to give it a 9. It would be a 10, but it wasn't a super high ROI, and I still got to penalize them something for the customer service. You know, if this ROI would have been 150%, I could have overlooked the shipping, but since it was, it's still a great ROI, but I still got to penalize them a little bit for the shipping. So, Paydirt description, a 10. Lynch Mining is really going and adding a lot of details to their descriptions, which is awesome. And I really wish every seller would do that. The more description, the better. Paydirt quantity, this weighed out. I mean, there's a picture on my blog if you want to go see it. But this weighed out, with the jar, it weighed 1 pound, 7.5 ounces. And I said in one of my previous videos, the jars themselves weigh 7.5 ounces. So it was exactly 1 pound of pay dirt, which is awesome. That's what I'm asking for, is 1 pound of pay dirt if I'm paying for 1 pound of pay dirt. Pay dirt packaging, again, I really like these jars. I love them. I mean, they're nice and sturdy, and I really kind of like the fact that you can see through them. So I'm giving it a 10. Customer service, again, for me, has always been a 10. I've never had an issue with them. So the last thing is my shipping. Now, shipping, again, I'm going to give them a 6. This 1 to 7 day handling time is just way too long. And also, not only is it too long, I just really don't like the fact that it's such a big amount. If they said 3 to 5 days, okay, it's going to be 3, and at worst it's going to be 5. But 1 to 7 days is a whole week. I mean, that means technically if you order it, one day you could be waiting the following week before they even bother to ship it. So it's just a little bit too much for me. So for their grand total score is going to be an 8.9, which is still a great score. Didn't break the 9s, but that's just because of shipping. But other than that, I was really happy. I thought it was a good score, and I'd definitely buy more of it. I will say one thing though. Right now they are having a sale. And I really suggest anyone, and not only with this pay dirt, but any pay dirt, if there's a sale going on and you're interested in buying it, that's the time to buy it. If this pay dirt wouldn't have been on sale, my ROI would have been 75.21% if I had to pay the full price, as opposed to an 87% ROI. So that 12% really adds up in the long term of buying pay dirt. So that's it. Appreciate it, and I should have another video out pretty soon. I mean, I still got 2 more to go before the end of the month. So I know I've had a couple people asking me when I'm going to get to the XL and winch winding. Well, those are coming next. The black label is coming next, and following that will be the XL. So as soon as I get time, those will be up, but they will be up before the end of the month. So thanks for watching. Make sure you comment, review, subscribe, share, all those wonderful things. Thanks.